Let's welcome Sandeep Kumar Gupta, the promoter, as well as the non-executive director. And we also have Gautam Badalia, the Chief Strategy Officer at Route Mobile, joining us on the show right now. Gentlemen, morning. Much anticipation and excitement around the listing. This is pegged to be the listing in the last quarter or so. But Sandeep, if I could begin my discussion with you, like my colleague just highlighted, there's sure, a lot of scope that your company does pose. But I want to talk about the traditional vertical of the company as well as the newer ones. If you could just explain the two-factor authentication, which seems to be growing very well, and how exactly do you really enable this?
When we say the two-factor authentication, whenever you try to log in on any social media or you're downloading an app, the first thing you require is to need an authentication from the service provider, like the social media app or a banking. So we provide a communication channel to the enterprise who disseminate this token to your phone. That means the moment you get the code, you enter into the app, and the app starts working for you. And this space is getting increased by day because lots of people are moving more on the digital platform. They are doing their banking, they are doing their travel booking. Everything is becoming more and more on digital platform. So we see that the dissemination of the token is also going to be increased in the coming days.
Sure. Right. Gautam, if I could get you in on the discussion as well. Your largest customer being Google and Facebook being the second largest. Help us understand what exactly is it that you do for them, and how big do you think the business is going to turn into in the next foreseeable future, considering just everything is happening on Google and everyone's Facebooking all the time?
So let me first give you, the perspective. So if you look at the world today, the world's going digital. Digital transactions are increasing manifold times, right? Most enterprise today prefer to kind of give better digital experience to their consumers. Any industry vertical that you can think of today, especially in the post-COVID situation, most industries are today trying to transform digitally. Something that they had conceptualized to kind of digitally transform in phases in years, they have been compelled to do it in a matter of days. So be it, any global company, any a local company, today they have to reach out to their customers digitally. Digitally, it could be through messaging, it could be a voice, email, IP messaging. Things like WhatsApp for business. Different countries would have a Viber. Somewhere you will have a WeChat, somewhere a Kakao Talk. So pretty much, all these channels of communications are embedded into our platform, which is what you call as communication platform, and that is rendered as a service to enterprises to help them reach out to their customers, in every nook and corner of the world. So that is where, as Route Mobile, we help enterprise reach out to their customers, for either authentication. So if you're trying to log in from another device, you ought to authenticate yourself, because, if somebody is trying to kind of, somebody's hacked your credentials and is trying to log in, those things, and hence two-factor authentication is increasingly becoming the order of the day. And it's not only authentication. So if your credit card is getting swiped, and you ought to be notified immediately of the amount being charged to you. Then, IoT, the use cases are increasing manifold times, where, the drugs, so medical drugs needs to be transported from one country to another. It needs to be monitored in a restricted environment. Certain degree of temperature, moisture needs to be maintained. And all that communication, they are all enabled through machine-to-machine technology, which is again enabled over the GSM band. So as a company, what we have done, we have kind of created a massive super network. So we are directly connected with over 240 telcos globally. So that gives us a distinct advantage in terms of the quality that we rendered for enterprises. Yeah.
Sure. Sandeep, I wanted to understand, how is it, or rather, can you really continue to grow at the same historic rate that you have in the past, with Google and Facebook being your top two clients? And what about the new customer additions? Is that factored into the estimates that you're working with internally?
Right now, we have not factored the new customer acquisition what we did in last quarter. We are going with the current run rate, and we will be achieving more than 1,200 crore with the current run rate. If we add the new customers, our run rate will be much better. And we keep on adding a new customer in our portfolio. And being in last couple of months, we have added more than 15 to 20 marquee customer as well.
Sure. Gautam, just to follow up in that, can you continue to grow at the same historic rate that you already have been, or do you think there's a chance that you may better it?
So I mean, we want to always be conservative in our approach, but I mean, as I said, I mean, the industry is witnessing massive tailwinds. I mean, in terms of digital transformation journey of enterprises, and we as a company, I mean, will definitely mimic similar growth trajectories that we have been demonstrating, if not better than what we have been doing. In fact, our Q1 FY21 numbers, if you look at it, despite the lockdown, despite I mean, lots of few sectors getting impacted. Because of the pandemic, I mean, we've been able to grow, I mean, at a significant growth rate.
Sandeep Kumar, wanted to get in your view as to what the future prospects look like in terms of your investments in technology. What is it that you have lined up? Because clearly that's going to be focused on mobile communication channels like messaging, email, OTT, voice, etc. So what exactly are the investments lined up for this?
So we always keep a pace with the industry and the current market situation and what the customer needs. So we will keep on investing into the new technologies wherein the customer can give a better user experience to their customer. The enterprises to give their better experience to their customer, and we will keep on investing into the new technologies like video app, video AIP, video KYC, few more technologies on IoT, machine learning. So we will keep on investing in this technology, which is going to be the next big thing in future for the enterprises, because all the enterprises needs to disseminate, control, monitor their day-to-day operations via more efficient way of communication. Gautam, if you can put more lights on this.
Sure, Sandeep. Thanks. So essentially, I mean, as a technology company, I mean, we always try to work on products which are ahead of the curve. At this point in time, I mean, as you are witnessing, I mean, even RBI has kind of mandated that video can be used as a communication tool to kind of do the video KYCs and stuff. So we're already working on things like that. We're working on a virtual contact center. So I mean, we will be always investing into technology. We keep our ears close to the ground as to what are the technology innovations that are happening, and we keep our platform equipped with I mean, all future communication requirements of enterprises.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And Gautam, give us a sense as to what the outlook is on margins. Are you migrating to now a higher margin business? What is the margin trajectory that we can expect?
So the current portfolio, I mean, that we are kind of doing at this point in time is running at a steady state basis. There are some new products that we have launched recently, which has the potential to kind of lead to some margin expansion. So I mean, things like voice.
Okay, I think we seem to have snapped that line, but Mr. Gupta, would you like to add to that, talking about what the margin trajectory is?
The margin trajectory will be good because we are adding lots of new product line into our portfolio, like voice, the IP messaging, the video KYC, which is a high margin product, and it will keep on increasing our margin as in future.
Yeah, and just to add, I mean, today, I mean, if you look at it in terms of product mix, I mean, we envisage that the product mix will change because enterprises have started to adopt newer channels of communications, which are in itself high margin products. In addition to that, I mean, today we are largely a emerging markets dominant player. Once we are able to kind of get some success, I mean, we have already tested some success in developed markets, and if there are some realignments that we can do in terms of our business skewing a little bit towards developed economies, I mean, you will see distinct margin improvements in our portfolio.